Welcome to Allie's Attic, where you never know what kind of surprise you'll find in my attic. I'm your host, Allie, and today my surprise is a man that I've been waiting since I started this journey for. He's the winner of Voice Season 11, and he's from Porter, Texas, and he's a country soul singer. Finally, Sundance Head. Hi, Sundance.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, I'm just honored to be on your show, and thank you for involving me. And I hope everything's well for you so far.
Yeah. How's your family? How's your dad?
He's doing really well. He's recovering great. He's back at home getting stronger. He wasn't strong enough to come out on tour and be able to see us or anything, which is kind of sad for me. But I'm just glad he's getting healthy, and I'm looking forward to getting home and spending a little time with him and my family. Maybe I can go home in about 2 weeks.
Oh, good.
For a little bit.
Yeah, visit Misty and the kids.
Yeah, I miss the kids a lot, but they were with us. They were with us for all of their spring break last week, so they came to 4 of the tour stops that we did, and we spent a lot of time together on the bus. And,
well, that's awesome.
yeah.
Now, just a mention about your dad, Roy Head. He was in the band called The Traits, and they had a really big hit called Treat Her Right. So music runs in your family, that's for damn sure.
Yes, ma'am, it does. And I'm thankful for that. I've got my kids, they've picked it up, and they're really into it now, and that's really exciting because I didn't want to pressure them to try to pursue it or anything, so I kind of let them discover it on their own, and with everything that's happened recently, they're really getting into it, you know. So.
Oh, that's good. That's awesome.
I'm really proud to be able to keep that tradition going for my father. And
yeah.
My grandparents were also musicians; they were in bands, so right. I'm a third generation, fourth generation guy. And well, hopefully, we can keep it going.
Oh, that would be awesome. It's going to be fun to watch. Now, you recorded years ago with ZZ Top, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But you didn't start music professionally till 13 years after that. You worked in the oil business. So how old were you when you first started getting really serious about it?
I was 33.
33.
And I was 33 years old. I decided that I was going to put together a band and start playing around town for really just because I missed playing music so much, you know.
Mm-hmm.
After American Idol, whenever I came home, I was unprepared for anything that may have happened. I didn't have any type of business structure, no one to help me out, and I basically let that whole opportunity slip away, and then I just went back to work in the oil business, and I guess I was kind of done with it, and I was just going to let it go, and somehow I picked up a Wednesday night gig close to my house, and I just started playing there, and then the pieces kind of fell together, and a band was formed, and we're just a 3-piece, you know, and I was really horrible at guitar, but somehow I convinced guys to stick around playing with me long enough to where now I can at least play the guitar a little bit, so that was a whole experience all on its own.
Well, and I mean, you were eliminated off American Idol 1 week before the finals, but you still managed to pick up a recording deal. And that kind of went by the wayside, which is fine. But how did you find your way to The Voice?
Well, I had felt like I had put in all the hard work that was necessary to have what you consider pay the dues. I felt like I had paid enough of the dues, and I knew I was turning 38. I was getting a little older, and my window was closing, and I really knew that it was an opportunity that I had no other choice but to do it. I also realized that if I went on the show and failed, that I would come home and probably just have to go to work, you know, get a real job and just kind of let that whole dream expire. But so it was definitely a do or die moment for me, but I knew how important that was going into it, and I had no other desires other than to just go out there and win. And so that's whenever I came up with the strategy. I was going to sing female songs, present them with a male vocal, and put my own arrangement to them to where they were familiar when you heard them, yet also brand new at the same time. So, and luckily that model actually worked out. So
it totally did, and it was such a joy watching you. One of the parts of The Voice that made me cry is when they told you that Kiss was going to perform with you, and you had talked about That was, you had gone to the Kiss concert with your brother, and you sat up on his shoulders so you could see the concert, and after that, your brother unfortunately passed away. So that must have been absolutely amazing to be able to play with them.
It really was. It was a dream come true. I mean, I can't even explain that feeling, really. It was kind of like being with a girl for the first time, you know, when you're a teenager. Or, you know.
Yeah.
I really just can't explain it. It's just such a weird feeling. It's something that a lot of people would not probably experience as an adult, you know. Just that kind of wonderment and just nostalgic feeling. And really just unbelievable that that was even happening, even when it was going down in real time. I couldn't believe it, you know.
Yeah, it would kind of seem like an out-of-body experience, I would imagine.
It's very incredible.
Yeah, well, you made me cry. Now, I don't watch TV. The only show I watch is The Voice. And I totally fell in love with you and your family. Watching Misty and just how happy she was for you was just amazing. The support that she gives you. She's your manager, right?
Yeah, she does everything for me.
Yeah, that's amazing to have that. Now, what was it like? Like, I can't comprehend what it would be like to just walk on stage and have 4 major artists with their back to you and sing and hope to heck that one of them turn. And 2 of them turned, Adam and Blake, and you ended up going on Team Adam. Team Blake, sorry. How do you overcome the nerves? Like, I couldn't have done that.
Well, I just prayed a lot and put that into the hands of the Lord, and I just go out and do the best that I can do and let His will be, you know, the way that I go forward. So that's how I kind of deal with the stress. I give Him the stress, and I just go out and do whatever I can control, which is just to go out, perform well, sing well, try to be, you know, a real person, likable, and make friends everywhere I go. That's how I alleviate stress.
Well,
I really don't stress too much about things. I used to stress out all the time, and until I really started to rely more on my relationship with God and just kind of put it in His hands. It really relaxes me to know that as long as I do the best that I can do, I know the Lord's going to do what's best for me. And that makes me really just relax and go out there and have a great time.
That's awesome. Now, when it got down to the final 4, you could see everybody looked a little stressed. What was it like finding out you won? I couldn't even imagine the feeling.
Well, be honest, I still can't believe it, really. I mean, I have not really had any time to reflect. I've only been home 7 days since I won.
Good Lord.
So we've been on the road the whole time. Everything's been going on. I mean, it's just really unbelievable to me.
Well, and I know Blake Shelton has, not only was he your coach and got you to the winning circle and you won, he has gone above and beyond, and he's helped you since, which just makes me appreciate him more as a person, not just an artist. I know he was part of your deal in getting that set up, and you were on tour with him and Ray Lynn. That was, like, the crowd must have been enormous.
Yeah, they're huge crowds every night. We played Chicago last night, and it was sold out. It was like the biggest venue we played so far, All-State Arena. It was amazing.
Wow.
So I've just been really blessed and fortunate to have these opportunities, and I'm just making sure that I do everything I can to build the relationships with everyone that's involved on the tour and make sure that whenever we leave, they say, hey, those guys, they're in the band Sundance, they're really stand-up guys. We enjoy working with them, and, you know, they weren't really that bad on stage. You know, that kind of deal. So.
Well, that's good. Now, the best part about watching you on The Voice was you have a very dry sense of humor, but you have a great sense of humor. So having Blake as your coach was perfect. Watching you guys goof around was like a highlight for everybody that watched, I'm sure. But I really enjoyed it. Is he as goofy as you?
He's more goofy than I am, probably. You know, if we're in a room together, you're probably going to see us competing to see who can tell the worst joke. I mean, you know what I mean? It's pretty bad. But, you know, we're both seeking attention from the world with bad jokes. But, you know, but he's a real sweet guy. I mean, as cool as you could imagine Blake Shelton is in your own mind, he's even cooler than that. I mean, I can't even explain that, really. I mean,
Well, I read
I
what
mean,
you put up on Twitter about Blake, and it was very, very touching. And it made people, I think it made me realize, you know what, he's not just there for, you know, being on TV, and, you know, he's there for the people on his team, and he's really been there for you. And yeah, watching you guys joke around was fun.
yeah, he's such a great guy, man. He's awesome.
Now, what are your plans from here on out? Like, I know you're going to go home for a little while and see your family.
Well, as soon as the tour's over tonight, we go to Nashville, and I'm going to record with the producer, Buddy Cannon, for the new single we're going to release. It's going to be amazing. And then I'm doing the Grand Ole Opry on the 25th next week, and I'm just very excited about that.
That is quite the honor. I saw that on your Twitter, and I was like,
Yeah,
wow.
then at some point, I'll be able to go home for a few days. I can't wait. I just want to go home and throw my phone away, and I'd go fishing, take my kids walking in the woods.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. You have 3 kids, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and how you and Misty have been together forever.
Well, Misty and I have been together for 19 years now.
Wow.
It's a really long time, but I mean, I couldn't even really imagine living without her anymore. I wouldn't know what to do.
Aw.
So, you know, Sundance Head, when people think of Sundance Head, they probably see a guy with a beard, you know, and incredibly attractive and very tall. but really, it's probably mostly Misty. I mean, she handles a lot of the stuff people don't get to see or hear, but she's very much a part of any success that I have, maybe probably more so than even I have involvement in. So,
oh, that's awesome.
I think it's really important that people know that about her as well. So,
well, and she's on Twitter too, so if people want to follow her, I know I do. You can go and follow her on Twitter. Now, the song "Darlin' Don't Go" was written for her, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And it was about when couples fight.
Absolutely. We had gotten to a pretty bad argument, and so I was trying to do everything I can to get myself out of a very negative situation. You know, yeah. I have not always treated her the way that she definitely deserved to be treated, but that was back when I was younger. And now I absolutely know the treasure that I have in my wife. I do everything every day that I can to make sure she understands that I know that. And that song was just something that came very naturally. I also wrote another song for her called 13 Years, which is #1 in Texas right now on the radio. Mm-hmm. And so she's really inspirational in my life, and she's a good inspiration for all women. I don't know how she does everything that she does, still somehow as a mother to 3 children, pays all our bills. I mean, I just can't even imagine the responsibility and stress that she endures daily, and does it very, very wonderfully. I definitely could not handle any of that stuff. I'm very much the guy that just wants to get on stage and play and let everyone else worry about everything else. Luckily for me, that person is my very close confidant and best friend in life, so I have a lot of trust with her, and so I'm in good shape right now, and we've got a wonderful team to go forward, and I think we have a good brand starting out, and we're very excited to see where the future's going to take us.
And we're all excited to watch because I think you're phenomenal, and just hearing about how you talk about your wife makes me tear up. That is just amazing, and you're a great guy. Now, where can people purchase your music, Sundance?
Well, the music is available everywhere online. You can buy music. You know, if you just type in Sundance Head, you go to Apple, iTunes, CD Baby, anywhere really. And we're very excited. We have a website up, sundancehead.net, where you can go check everything out. You know, we got all the Twitter, all the social media stuff, and I personally am in charge of all the social media accounts. I haven't turned them over to anybody yet because I feel like I have a good relationship with the fans out there, and I want them to know that whenever they tweet me or send me a message or comment anything, that I'm actually looking at it and reading it. And I know that a lot of people just defer that to some department to take care of it for them. But I just want people to know that I actually do handle that stuff, and I want to do that for as long as I can, you know.
Yeah.
So it's important to me to have a relationship with the fan base. So
Yeah, and you actually have, and it's called FAM base, FAM base, and
yeah, that's awesome. I'm not even sure who came up with that, but I love it. I just hope they don't come at me for any money. You know what I mean?
Like,
what?
Yeah. Or come over for Christmas dinner.
Yeah, that's right. So.
Well, they're awesome. They support you like you would not believe, and they absolutely went nuts when I said you were coming on my show. So it was awesome to see all the retweets. One of your fans actually sent me about 20 pages about just you. And I was just like, wow, like what fan does that? So it was awesome because I got to learn even more about you than what I saw on The Voice. So it was really great. Now, we're going to hear 2 songs from you.
Yes, ma'am.
Before we get to the songs, I just want to know, just with everything that you've gone through and how you turned it around, and I mean, you're phenomenal. Do you have any advice that you could give any new artists out there starting out?
My advice is just to never give up on your dream. I mean, it doesn't matter what that could be, what business it's in, or what it entails. If you really are passionate about something, you need to pursue it to the end of the earth. It took me 38 years. I've done a lot of bad things, done a lot of wrong things. I've done a lot of things right. I've made a lot of mistakes, and that's just part of the journey that it takes to get where you need to be. And for me, I really didn't become successful until I realized that I could just, put my faith in the Lord and just try to be the best person that I could be every day. Really, it was having kids that I realized when I was trying to tell them how I think that they should live as good people in the world, I realized that I weren't myself doing a lot of those things. And I started to try to change my life in the perspective of I wanted them to see me as the example of what I'm trying to tell them to do. So once I started living, I say, the right way, things just happened for me and everything went positive. I believe that if you have positive thoughts and you have a positive attitude and you think positive, that positive things will happen to you. And that's really important. So my whole thing is just stay positive and never give up on your goals and your dreams. And you're not going to win every time. You're probably going to lose most of the time. But if you stay persistent, there's going to be that one time you're going to win, and it's going to feel great.
Yeah, exactly. That's very good advice. I just have one more question. Are you signed now?
I am signed. I'm with Republic New York.
Okay.
So
awesome.
It's a really awesome record label. It's me, Drake, Rihanna, and The Weeknd. So that ought to be an interesting Christmas party, to say the least.
I want an invite. I just want to sit back and watch.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
So I know you're getting everybody on board voting for 13 years. Like you said, it's #1 in Texas right now. And
yes, ma'am.
We're going to hopefully get it to #1 everywhere. And we're going to hear that song. And we're also going to hear my favorite, Darling, Don't Go. When you told the story and you sang that on The Voice, it just choked me up. And I think you're awesome. And I want to just say thank you so much, Sundance. I know you're going on stage in a little while. You have to do sound check. And for taking time out of your day to come on my show is just very humbling for me. So thank you very much. And all the best to you in the future. No problem.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Yeah. And it's a very, very, very awesome thing that you do for musicians and people of that nature. So just keep doing the good work that you're doing. And I hope that you've become very successful.
Oh, thank you, Sundance. You're going to make me cry again. Okay, and thank you for joining me on Allie's Attic. Keep checking my website because you never know what kind of surprises you'll find in my attic. Cheers.